Hey guys, John here. Today's toxic patch is called Strangled and Twisted because it sounds like something is strangling and twisting the audio, and that's really the most creative name I could give it, so that's what it sounds like here. Alright, if you like the patch, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. So let's dive into this patch and see how it was created. First thing at the top here, we have 7 voices of unison. Detuning is at 28%. The unison pan is 100% left and right. We're not going to be using any glide time now for the master envelope. The only real change is some release at 0.404 seconds. A little bit of drive here at 13%, and the master volume is untouched at 0. Now, where this patch gets interesting is we are using 5 oscillators, and we are going to be using some FM and some interesting staging for these. So for this first oscillator, it's going to be a square wave down 1 octave and detuned by 2 cents minus. The second oscillator is a saw wave, and it's going to be detuned plus 5 cents. The third is also a saw wave detuned by plus 3. The fourth oscillator is a saw wave up 1 octave and detuned by plus 3. And the fifth and final oscillator is TX6 up 2 octaves. Now for the panning and the mixing. So the first one is going to be 100% in the mix, and it's holding the center, so it's not going left or right. This is kind of holding the low end in the center. Now 2 and 3 are kind of interesting because the first one is a saw wave and the second one is also a saw wave. They're both 100% in the mix, but they're panned hard left and hard right, as you can see, minus 50 and plus 50 here, with a slight little detuning here to kind of make them a little bit more different from each other. The fourth oscillator is also another saw wave, but this one's up 1 octave and it's detuned plus 3, but this one is staying in the center, hanging out with this first square wave, but it's only 90% in the mix. And the final one, this TX6 up 2 octaves, is only 77% in the mix and also in the center. Now comes the fun FM part. So this first one is modulating itself, so oscillator 1's modulating itself by 23. So if we increase this to 100%, you might notice this like high-end kind of sound that it kind of gives. So this is what it's kind of doing as an exaggerated feeling. So we want that type of sound, but not that much. So 23% seems like a good, decent middle ground for that. So let's put that back down to 23. Now with this 40 and 40 over here, so operator number 5, so this TX is going to be FMing 2 and 3 by 40 right here. So let's take these out real quick while let's go in so we can kind of see what this is doing. It kind of seems like it makes it a little bit more muddy and kind of loses a certain timbre characteristic to the sound. So as we increase this, we'll get that right back to us. And that's basically the concept of FM in that sense. It's very good for creating different weird type of timbres. So it's not always great. I mean, it is great for squelchy kind of weird stuff and stuff like that, but overall, FM is very useful for creating very rich, weird, kind of almost unheard of timbres. So that's kind of the concept I try to approach frequency modulation with. So moving on from there, let's go into the filter. So we're going to be at a low pass here. The LFO1 amount is going to be 35%, and that is going to be a sine wave over here synced at 1/16. So if we were going to exaggerate this, so this is 35%, listen to how different this would sound. So that's the effect that we're applying here, but just not so much. So about 30, 35 around here seems okay. It gives a little bit of motion within it here. Now our amount here for our EG amount is 46.24, and then these three bars here, the decay, sustain, and release, are all the way at the top, but the attack is going to be 0.025. Our cutoff is going to be about at the center at 48%. Now time for the effects. We have a delay getting fed into a phaser. So this delay is 2/16. Ignore this time because we have this synced here. Feedback is 60%, rate 24%, depth 20%, blur 50%, and mix 35%. Next up, we've got the phaser. Frequency is 26%, rate 15, depth 46, feedback 41, and the mix is kind of low at 21%. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching. If you want to get this patch for free, in the video description below, you can get it. We'll see you in the next one.